Welcome, guys, to another episode of Cocktails and Conversation. My name is Rashawn Prince. With me is my guest, Mr. Shamari.
What's up?
So today, cocktail we're gonna do, we're just gonna keep it simple, man. You know, we're not gonna go anything big. So what I'm gonna make is I'm gonna make an old fashioned with Crown Royal. So a little bit of sweet, but also the bitters is gonna make it kind of bitter. So, and then I have a couple mint leaves, a couple lemons I'm gonna add with it. But while I start making drinks, I want to give Mr. Shamari a chance to introduce himself so you guys can know his background and where he comes from. So, Mr. Shamari, whenever you're ready, big dog.
My name is Shamari Watkins, originally from Marietta, Georgia. Ain't too much special about me, I ain't even gonna lie. I'm trying to think of what to say.
Tell him your brand. Tell us your brand, man. What you just started.
Tell
them the good news.
Look, MCMG, money come, money go. I guess the focus. The focus behind that though is I want to make sure that money is important. It's always gonna be important, but behind that, it's got to be value. I want to make sure there's good value, good brand being put out, good images. Like the money is basically gonna be irrelevant, but if you do good work, you're gonna get the money anyway. So it's push it to the side. So the money gonna come, the money gonna go. You can't stress it. But outside of that, I'm trying to think. Cause I just
don't think too hard.
Just recently got the LLC. You know, trying to.
Congrats on that.
But really, bro, I'm out here like 2 Chainz. I'm just trying to make my mom proud.
Just trying to make my mama proud. I like that, man. And in what ways are you making your mama proud?
See, I'm trying to think of what I can and can't tell you.
Okay, let's keep it sensitive, you know.
Nah, because I don't think I ever told you what the LLC was for, did
I? No, you never did.
Okay, so originally, the LLC is supposed to be a holding company. So if you ever heard of Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway, it's the same thing. It's like you get a business that basically the premise is to buy other businesses. So you know how Berkshire Hathaway owns Geico, Dairy Queen, Seeds Candy, and all this other stuff. Mm-hmm. Basically, he was smart enough that if you get Geico, it's like an insurance company. With that insurance company, they just got a pool of money. Mm-hmm. With that pool of money, you can do whatever you want to with it. Mm-hmm. You can go buy houses. That's how they have the real estate property. Mm-hmm. You can go buy stock. You can go buy anything you want to. It's asset allocation. So I'm trying to get that started with the LLC. And then on the side, it's going to be a multimedia company. So, of course, we're going to do music. We're going to do graphic design, videography, and everything else when it comes to it. But it's going to be good.
Hold on, wait, I'm not done.
Oh, I was just saying.
He ready.
I was just saying. I wasn't ready.
All right, guys. So, the Crown Royal Old Fashioned is not really your typical Old Fashioned. Most people use certain whiskey. But I decided to go with Crown Royal because, for one, I wanted to kind of garnish with the lemon. I thought the lemon and the bitters would give it a more crisp taste, along with the mint leaves. Because if you guys don't know, Crown Royal is a very strong Canadian whiskey. It's sweet too. So typically, I don't recommend Crown Royal as a mixed drink for people unless they're just starting out drinking whiskey. If they don't know, then I tell them like, yeah, if you want a mixed drink with brown, try Crown Apple, and or you can do like a Crown Apple Mule, you know, with ginger beer, Crown Apple Royal, lime juice, a couple drops of bitters should get it there. But typically we'll use oranges, but I use lemons this time. And also, before I forget,
The good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff. This is what's gonna make it, because the garnishes are usually orange and cherry, but I use lemon and cherry. So my boy, get at a taste and, you know, look into the camera and tell them what you think.
Oh, boy, this.
Oh man, like I'm gonna have to go ahead and prep up another one.
That's good, right?
I'm gonna have to go ahead and prep up another one then.
Oh, look, you make another one.
Yeah, go ahead, man. It's a cigar right there, man. Indulge in that as well.
You know me.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Definitely a nice cigar.
Go ahead. So guys, like I said, you guys can get a half a fifth, or a whole liter, depending on the type of hand sanitizer. Depending on,
Hey, stay safe.
yeah, got to. Depending on the crowd that you're catering to, a liter to 8.5 milliliters should be enough. But typically, you want to try to stay in the range when you're making cocktails. You make sure you want to stay cautious. That's why I only got a fifth of Crown Apple. But I'm telling you, we'll still feel the same exact way as if we had a whole bunch of people here. I promise you. You guys can make this at home. It pairs great with a nice cigar, like I have prepared for me and Mr. Shamar today. Pairs well with the nice cigar. If you're eating red meat, any type of red meat goes well with it. What else? Steaks. Well, that's red meat. You're eating meatloaf, whatever that may be. But again, this is a Crown Apple Old Fashioned. Don't forget your bitters. So without further ado, man, let's start having a conversation, man, because that's what I brought you on here for. I'm not trying to waste your time.
Let's get it.
Okay, so the topic of the day is going to be Black economics and minority economics. For me personally, economics is one thing I know that keeps our community from getting to that social and economic equality that we want. So, my first question to you, man, why is this even a topic? Like, why is Black economics, why is Black wealth even a topic to discuss?
What do you mean? That's really the most important thing that we have. Like,
I don't think people understand, like, in the Black community, we don't have too much time. And first and foremost, time is money.
Right.
So think about this. We say we want power, we say we want ability, we say we want all of this. If most of us are considered, I'm not gonna say most of us, because we finna have a nice little, transfer of wealth.
But we get dirty here, though. I'm just letting you know that's the purpose of this.
Look, they're cool though. They
Right.
like to go around and say that,
Right.
a good majority of us are ignorant,
Mm-hmm.
first and foremost, impoverished and everything else. But this is the thing. I can't be in your courtroom, in your boardroom, and everything else trying to make these policy changes if I'm working 2-3 jobs, just trying to put food on the table, just
Right.
trying to keep my lights on, just trying to do all this stuff. So while they over there building wealth, and then they get to the point where they financially free, they ain't got to worry about working a job.
Right.
So whenever somebody go like, oh, we finna have a town hall, guess who's majority there?
Who?
The people that ain't got to work.
Mm.
Guess who majority out there working 2-3 jobs trying to make something happen?
Who?
Us.
Mm.
So if we ain't there, we ain't represented.
Right. And it was interesting to me once I started doing my research. And also, if you guys haven't read, please pick up John Adams' book, Black Labor, White Wealth. It'll teach you about economics from even when the first slaves touched Jamestown, Virginia in 1619. It actually teach you how our ancestors were exploited for years. And it's a big difference between wealth and rich. You get what I'm saying? Because you can be rich, right? But can you be wealthy?
Well, you can be rich and broke.
Get that? You can be rich and broke, man. Like, seriously, because with wealth comes a certain level of education. Would you not agree?
No, definitely.
Definitely. So, like, at what point should we start wanting to educate ourselves on the difference between wealth and being rich? Being wealthy or being rich?
Literally, as soon as you can. Because a good majority of us, like, for instance, I had just found out about this whole, like, financial freedom and everything about, maybe 1 or 2 years ago, and I just turned 29. So that's 28, 27?
Yeah.
But other people are teaching their kids this at like 7 years old, 8 years old. So then by the time they hit 18, they good.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention, their parents already have funds and stuff set up for them on the side. So double, they good.
Mm-hmm.
Both sides. Even if they happen to be, not so bright, it's like it don't matter when you got $100,000 in the bank
Right.
already. As soon as you hit 18, you
Right.
got $100,000.
Right. If you grow up rich, $1 million ain't much to you, is it?
Hey, you
Shout out to Trump.
I was saying, you feel like Trump. A small loan of $1 million. Not to
Small
mention the other 4-5 you got, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Right. And it's important that we do have these conversations, understanding as minority and Black people, if we're ever gonna come out this bind that's been keeping us down for years. So my next question would be to you is on that subject. Why is this even an important conversation to have? Like, why should I want to sit down at the barbershop and talk about how much money I got in my pocket? Or why should I want to, like, come to you as a friend, that, we in the same boat, we moving around, we getting our own thing started, why should I be talking to you about, like, my wealth? Shouldn't I already know that, even at the age of 28? Shouldn't I know what wealth is? Shouldn't I know the difference between being wealthy and being rich?
You should, but if you don't, how else you gonna learn it if you don't talk about it? And that's what I'm thinking. It's like a lot of us start to get to the point where we think credit, talking about money and certain other things is bad, and it's
Right.
not. It's kind of like taboo in certain cultures, and you see what happens in that culture. You see what happens in that community. It's like if we don't talk about it, somebody else gonna talk about it. And when they start talking about it, they get ahead of us. And that's the biggest issue.
That's the biggest issue. Is staying ahead and being on top of the game. Remember, you always want to be on top of your game. That's what I'm getting from what you just said.
Definitely.
So, with you being a new business owner, you got your thing going on. What advice would you give someone right now what advice would you give someone who is basically stuck right now? They don't know whether they want to go to work tomorrow. Should they quit? Should they start their own business, but it's too hard? They don't want to put in the work. So what advice, as someone who's just now starting your business and just now starting to get to the point where, you know what, I want to become financially free. I want to make my mom proud. I want to do these certain things. I want to build a residual income for myself. What advice would you give that person?
I wouldn't even give him advice. I'll give him the same mindset that I had. Think about this. You put money to the side, you invest money, eventually that money gonna start making money. It's gonna keep making money until it gets to a certain point where all your bills paid. You could literally wake up the next day and be like, man, I don't feel like going to work today. But think about this, if all your bills paid, you got food in your fridge, your lights on and everything else, you really don't have to go to work.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand. It's like when you get to that point, when you get to that nice little critical mass where your money is paying for all your bills, if the job that you got that you completely hate, you can leave. You can go do something, even if they're paying you $7.25 an hour. If you absolutely love that job, you can go do that. And basically, the money that you get right there is just blow money.
So would you say that passion is a big part that drives us to want to get up and want to go work, want to be able to pay our bills and do things as adults, as like with being young adults right about now? Is passion a big part of like why we may lose interest in these jobs?
I say it's passion and then priority. Because if you end up in a job that pays you, and once again, that's the big thing. It's like we fight for jobs that pay us.
Right.
We ain't looking for ways that our money can go make money.
Right.
If we do that, basically you got two people working. If you was a single home or a single person home, and your money working for you, you basically got two people working for you. So if you struggling, you end up going to a job that's, of course they're gonna pay you well, but if you hate the job completely, you're gonna stay there. And why you gonna stay there? Just because they paying you a decent amount.
Right.
So
right.
it's like
a lot of people stay in jobs because of comfortability. They feel comfortable.
Exactly. So it's partially passion, but at the same time, it's like if you know that staying here is gonna get everything that you need paid for, you're gonna stay there. Even if you hate it, you can wake up in the morning and be like, man, I really don't want to go. Like I would rather do anything else but go to this job. But guess what? In about 5-10 minutes, you're finna go to the bathroom. You're finna get dressed. You're finna do everything you can. You end up going to that job.
Oh wow. So just what I'm getting from all of this is the mindset. Depending on where you are and where you want to go, your mindset on how you feel about your life and what you want to do with yourself is basically how your situation will turn out to be. If you don't think that like, hey, you know, I can't do any better from this job, or I need this job right now, that's completely understandable. But at some point, what I'm getting is that you should train your mind to be different. Or
it's not even so much training your mind to be different. It's you have to go out there and seek the knowledge. And that leads back into what we were saying before. If we don't talk about it, if somebody basically has all this knowledge and they just hoarding it, they know better than the people that's sitting there taking the money from us.
So where would someone go get the knowledge from? Like, where would it be, you know?
I want to say college, but
that's a day too.
College
Shout out to everybody who paying their student loans.
Nah, college ain't gonna teach you how to make money. Like, what people don't realize, if you go to college, it teaches you how to learn. It teaches you how to find the information. And I was talking to one of my brothers not too long ago about this. It's like, there's certain things we can look up if we know about it. If I don't know the term, if I don't know the terminology, if I don't know what, I guess the name of it would be, I can't look it up.
Right.
So for the people that do find this information, we got to spread that. We got to talk to other people.
But how do we get those people to listen? How do we get those people to even believe what we're saying is the right way to go?
You ain't got to do that. It's just like planting a seed. All you got to do is throw the seed there. It's going to grow.
It's gonna grow.
Oh yeah.
Wow, that's very interesting, man. Because like for me, for someone who's just now starting his YouTube channel, for someone who does have a mobile bartender business, and for someone who is like on contract as a contract support counselor for mental health, it's like those steps that I had to take, I know they were hard. You get what I'm saying? So to my viewers right now, if you're in the midst of that, just know that you're not alone. It is hard, and that mental weight does weigh a lot on typically anybody who does take that path. But from someone like you, who when it got your business license, you have your shirts, you have your thing going on right now. You was telling me about the stock. What more about that were you saying? About the stock thing you had going on? Because that's your money too.
Look, honest to God, I'm gonna tell you how I got into stock. So, back in 2015, I was working at Publix. And Publix is a private company. So it's like, while working there, you get stock. I got stock I didn't even know about. At the time, I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was doing. All I know is they took a little bit out of my check every year or every week, and I was like, I kind of want that money back. But what I didn't know is they were buying stock with it. So I think Publix is quarterly. So every 3 months, I got a random check. And I was like, wow, what is this check for? It's like, I'm finna blow it. But
Right.
I'm gonna appreciate the little $10. But
right.
once again, stock go up. If the business does well, the stock gonna go up. So then next 3 months, I start getting $12. Next 3 months, 15. I think right now I'm getting like 30, and I haven't worked for Publix in 5 years?
Wow.
So it's still growing, and I'm out there. And that's the thing. It's like they give you like a pamphlet that go with it, and I'm like, okay, what is this? Back to what I was saying. That's how we learn the word. That's how we learn the terminology. I saw it. It was like dividend. I'm like, what is a dividend? I started looking into it. I'm like, wait a minute. So you telling me I ain't even got to work and I can still get paid? Oh, I need to focus on this. I need to start learning as much as I can. I hit YouTube. I hit random websites. I did whatever I could, learn as much as I can.
Right. So I don't mean to stop you right there, right?
Good.
But you just said you did your own research on your own, right?
You have to. Who gonna teach you?
Exactly. That's the keynote I want you guys to take from this, is that you have to do your own research. You can't sit around and expect for someone to want to teach you this and want to show you this, because it's limited in our community to those people who are looking for that knowledge, because everybody doesn't have that knowledge. Everybody is just now trying to get theirs for themselves. And another question I wanted to ask before we end was, man, I just want you to tell my viewers again, man, like, what you do, what organizations you're a part of, like, what's your brand? I want you to like basically promote yourself. I want you to build this platform so you can basically help yourself get out. Because if you guys don't know, there are some powerful black men out here who are trying to do things for themselves, who are trying to get out of this trap. You know, because it's a lot going on. We see on the news daily how we're looked at in the social sense, regardless of what's said by the truth or what's said out of the elites who do run the society. We know how we look. We get up every morning and we see that like we're black. We get up every morning and we see that like my mom's still broke, my grandmother's still broke. We get up and see these things, but they teach us differently in school. So the advice, the most important thing that you want to leave the viewers with right about now, as someone who had to go through that struggle, and that's another thing, you have to go through the struggle, as someone who went through that struggle of grinding and working the job and then trying to build your own. Talk about that mental pressure, and talk about the importance of gaining that knowledge by yourself.
Look, first and foremost, before we even continue with that, I gotta say this. Do not listen to the media. Like, do not pay attention. I know they're going around saying that, you know, we still going through robbing, killing people, or like we ain't accomplishing anything. Nah, there's so many groups that I've seen. Like, people are behind the scenes teaching other people this. But that's the thing, you have to be willing to learn it. There's so many Facebook groups, Instagram groups. Matter of fact, I seen, I'm trying to remember who I learned from. There's, Wall Street Trapper.
Yeah.
Earn Your Leisure. I learned so much from them.
Yeah.
And they look just like us. They talk just like us.
Yeah, they do.
So don't ever think that this is out of your reach. You might not know the definition of something. Look it up. Find it.
Right.
But, let me think. The biggest piece of advice, be passionate. More than anything, be passionate. If you hate your job, find a way out of your job. If you want your family to live well, find that way. Don't just sit there and wish and hoping. I mean, I don't want to say don't pray for it. Keep praying, but go look for it too. Don't just talk. Like, do the work.
Do the work. Do the work. And that's one key thing I want you guys to take away from you as the conversation comes to an end, is just be passionate about what you want. Be persistent about what you want, and also be consistent. Consistent is the key to holding yourself accountable. And once you learn that accountability is the biggest thing that you need as far as getting your dream out here or wanting to even be heard, that's the most important part of building something for yourself. That's the most important part of being an entrepreneur, because black wealth is a very important conversation that we must continue to have within our community. Go on, repeat those names again that you were saying.
Man, Wall Street Trapper. You can find him on Instagram, Facebook, Earn Your Leisure. Ian Dunlap, he done put me on a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I can teach you the 2 books, or tell you about the 2 books.
Yeah,
that put me
recommend
on.
2 books. Yeah.
Right. One book, I know everybody probably done talked about this. Read it. I've had that thing on my shelf for a whole year. If I had read it a year earlier, I would have been so much happier. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. The second one would be The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clayton. Man,
yeah,
there's
that's
so
my
much
guy.
knowledge in them books.
Yeah.
Them 2 books literally just propelled me into what I'm doing now. But I wouldn't have done it if I wouldn't have went out on my own, got the book and read it.
Right. And if you guys don't know, Rich on Poor Dad is on YouTube. So if you guys don't want to read the book or even go out and get the book, you also can listen to the audio book on, you can listen to it on YouTube. Because we know we're the age of technology, so a lot of times we don't feel like sitting down, opening up a hard copy and reading that. So thank you again, man, for coming.
Definitely.
Guys, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, all of that to make sure the message gets out. Because the most important thing about all of this is the message. We want to continue to reach out and let you guys know that if you're contemplating certain things and if it's on your mental health and you're dealing with it, you're waking up and you're not talking to nobody about it, you're not alone. That's the most imperative thing that we do on this show. We want you guys to know that you're not alone. So again, thank you to my guy Shamora Watkins. Thank you guys for viewing. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, share. Also, Old Fashioned Crown Royal. You can make it at home, baby. Good, right?
Make it.
Toast.